Hello everyone, this is Bharat Singla and welcome to CodeChef. This is the one-stop destination for you to master competitive programming. Great, so let's get started. So our today's agenda will be to learn the Euclid's GCD algorithm that helps us find the GCD of two numbers, the greatest common divisor, very efficiently. So we will be discussing it in great detail. So I have watched a few videos and a few articles, but a lot of them just talk about the algorithm. I will also talk about the how it works and why it works. So stick around till the end and I hope that you learn it really well. Great, so let's get started. So let's recap what GCD is. I'm assuming you know it, but I'll still brief it. So GCD of two numbers A and B is the greatest common divisor. In India, we know it as HCF better. So for example, GCD of 15 and 20 is 5 because 5 is a number that divides both of them, right? Both 15 and 20, and is also the greatest number. So 6, 7, 8, so on. None of them divide both of them. So how do we find this? So clearly, before moving on to Euclid's algorithm, the naive approach is to loop on all the numbers from 1 till the smaller one. So basically, loop from, right, I won't be discussing it in great detail, but it's pretty clear that we have to loop from 1 till the smaller number, right? And why the smaller number? Because anyways the GCD cannot be greater than a number, right? So this basically will go from 1 to 15, right? And then we can simply find if a mod I is also 0 and b mod I is also 0, then we can keep on updating some answer, and in the end we'll have the greatest number that divides both of them. Or we can also iterate in reverse order. So from minimum of a comma b to 1, and the first number which divides both of them we can break at that point. So this is the brute force. The time complexity for this is we go off minimum of a comma b, right? We are looping till here, and this is pretty inefficient. Will not work for anything greater than 10 to power 7. So let's discuss what the Euclid's algorithm is. So one note is that the prerequisites are regression. I do have a playlist on that as well. So if you are uncomfortable with it, make sure to first watch that and then come here. So we have the Euclid's algorithm states that GCD of A and B is equal to GCD of B and A mod B. So this is a recursive relation, right? And it states that GCD of A and 0 is simply A. So this is the recursive case and this is the base case, right? So these two are given by Euclid GCD. So now let's see how it works. So you have GCD of A comma B can be written as GCD of A and, or instead we can say that GCD of, in anyways GCD is like a commutative operator. So GCD of A comma B is equal to GCD of B comma A. So we can write this as B comma A minus B. Great. So here we'll be assuming that A is greater than equals B, right? So this, as some of you might already be knowing, but the proof for this is also there, that one way to think about it is that the GCD can never be greater than the difference of the two numbers. For example, we took for 15 and 20, the GCD can never be greater than 20 minus 15, that is 5. Why? Because again, it's pretty clear. If the GCD is 6 or 7, then 15 is a multiple of 7, right? So 20 cannot be a multiple of 7 again, because even if I take just the next multiple after 15, that will be 15 plus 7, right? That is 22, which will be greater than 20. So the GCD can at max be, it will be less than equal to the difference of A minus B. So this kinda seems fine, right? And mathematically we can say that if the GCD is G, then A can be written as Gx, this can be written as Gy, right? For some given x and y. For some x and y, A can be expressed as this and B can be expressed as this, because by definition G divides both of them, right? That's why it's the GCD. And again x and y will be co-prime, because if they are not, if they again have something in common, that will be insert it into G only, right? So X and Y will be completely dry now. So we are saying that GCD of Gx and Gy, right? This is equal to GCD of, now B is Gy and A minus B is Gx minus Gy, where in which we can take G common. So we have X minus Y. So clearly we again have G as their GCD, right? G again divides both of them. There are a few things that we are not considering, that it could be greater, or what if one of the number is greater or something like that. But this makes sense, right? It actually involves a lot of mathematics behind to prove it. So that's why this is one of the ways I find it easier to understand, that this is the same as this, because again G is coming out to be the common, right? So we can say that GCD A comma B is GCD B comma A minus B, or A minus B comma B. Cool. So let's see how this would work for some big numbers. So this is pretty clear. We'll see how we can convert this to A mod B instead of A minus B. So we have, say you want to find the GCD of 115. So you have 115, right? This would make a call to 15 and 85, right? This would make a call to 85 and 70, right? Then it would make a call to 85 minus 70, and it will basically go on and on and on, right? So one thing that we can clearly observe here is that we are subtracting 15 a lot of times, right? If it is say 105, right? So we'll come to 95, then 90, then 85, and so on. So this is repeated subtraction. And what is repeated subtraction? Yes, it is division. So to reduce these number of steps, to compress them, to flatten them, we can instead use the modulo operator. So b comma a minus b can instead be written as b comma a mod b, right? So this is nothing but keep on subtracting it. So from 100, if I keep on subtracting 5, right, I don't have to do it again and again. I can directly, what's the first step after which I'll not be able to subtract? So that is 100 mod 5. In this case, it comes out to be 0. For 100 mod 15, right, this will come out to be 10, because you'll keep on subtracting 15, 15, 15 until it becomes less than 15, right? So 10 is the first point after which you cannot subtract 15. You'll be able to subtract 90 from 100. So I'll just compress subtraction into the modulo operator. And yes, this is nothing but the Euclid's relation. So that's how you mathematically get this. And the way this works now is that GCD of A comma B is GCD of A and is B and A mod B. So in a way to kind of ensure that the first number is greater, because this will always lie in the range from 0 to B minus 1, right? The modulo operator with B will result in 0 to B minus 1, and this is B. So this again makes the first number greater. And now let's quickly try run this, right? So we have say 15 and 20. So here we don't need to check that initially if it is less, because what will happen is, this is a very smart, this is a very smart trick. You don't have to add an if condition. This will now make a call to B is 20, and what is A mod B, that is 15 mod 20, that is 15. So these numbers automatically get swapped, right? So this is a gem. This is a really good condition, that we don't need to basically have a condition. This is enough to swap the numbers in the first iteration, and after this will always be smaller than this, right? So in the next iteration, it will be 15 and 20 mod 15, that is 5. And again, we can see that it will once truncate, because at each step we are reducing the numbers, right? This is not an infinite condition. So then you have 5 and 15 mod 5, that is 0. And we know that this is a base case now, right? GCD of A and 0 is A, right? So clearly we return 5 here, and this will keep on returning 5. And here we go. We have found the GCD of 15 and 20 to be 5. The time complexity for Euclid's GCD algorithm is O of log of A and, or minimum of A and B, right? Sorry, right. So this is coming from a lemma that uses Fibonacci numbers and then flattens it up into this condition. This again requires a lot of mathematics. You can look it up, but I do not recommend this. You can just think that it will work for really, really huge numbers, right? So it will also work for 10 to power 100, right? So this is a pretty fast algorithm, a huge improvement, a drastic improvement from O of A to O of log A. Great. So let's code it out. So we have discussed the time complexity, we have discussed how it came, and we have also got an intuition of how it works. So we have A and B. Let's input them and then let's output GCD of A and B. Cool. So let's quickly start off by writing the GCD function. So we have, I like this one liner version a lot using ternary conditions. So we'll use return if B is 0, then A, otherwise GCD of B and A mod B. Okay, so this is the one-liner version for Euclid's GCD. And one thing, one heartbreaking fact is that you don't need to implement this. You just need to know it so that you can build this algorithmic thinking. But instead, what you can do is you can write underscore underscore GCD of A and B. And this is an inbuilt function in C++. In Python, you have to import math, right? You have to import math, or you can write from math import GCD, and this will again do the work for you. No need to implement it on your own. Great. So this wraps it up, guys. I hope you liked it and I hope you continue to the next one as well. If you enjoyed this one or learned something new, make sure to like the video and comment down anything interesting you want me to see or have any feedback. This is Bharat Singla from CodeChef signing off for now. I'll see you next time.